Let's begin this exercise by thinking about two different types of LAC calculations. LACA, that is aggregate, and LACW, that is window. What's the difference between these two? LAC aggregates include the over functions like SumOver and average over. The behavior is compute an aggregate value for each partition. LACW, that is window, include rank and runningSum, which are the two functions that we're going to focus on in this exercise. And also, there are other functions that are possible as well. The behavior is compute a row-specific value based on partition within the partition. Now, if this sounds confusing, perhaps this key distinction will help. LACA returns the same aggregate value for every row in a partition. The total gets broadcast to each row. Consider the previous exercise we worked on, where we can see pop total and the number 8 billion, in other words, the world population that is broadcast for each row. LACW returns a different value for each row based on its order or position within the partition. So think about something like a rank, where we would see a rank number 1 associated with India as the most populated country in the world, a rank number 2 associated with China, and so forth. So let's jump into an exercise and consider this. So this is in the LAC exercise starter analysis, and let's look at the ranking tab. Within ranking, notice that we have regions and countries and populations for each display. On the right-hand side of the screen, we'll see that the year is 2023, and also notice that we have a geo-level control for world and region. Currently, this is not tied to the visualization, so clicking on the different options doesn't drive the visualization at all. Well, let's change that. Within the data pane, I'll scroll up to the top and select plus calculated field. I'll create a calculation called pop rank with an if-else statement pointing to the geo-level param, which could be set to world or could be set to region. Our focus is on the rank, that is the LACW function that's in play. Rank some population, descending, and then open close bracket. In other words, no partitions are in play. We are simply ranking based on the sum population across the entire data set. Of course, for the region option, we're ranking some population descending across the region. For example, consider Africa. What is the most populated country in Africa? It's Nigeria. So that would receive a number 1 ranking within the region Africa. I'll click on Save, and let's create another calculated field. This calculation will be pop run per region, and the calculation is runningSum population, rankSum population, descending region, ascending region. Okay, this one's a little bit more complicated because we have some nesting going on here that needs to be described. The runningSum is an LACW function, and we have a runningSum on some population, and then we want to look at a runningSum partitioned at the region level. That's clear enough, but what may be confusing here is the rankSum population descending, region, ascending. This is necessary in order to force the sort order. Otherwise, the sort order will be based on the display order within the visualization. And if the display order is alphabetical, we would not want our runningSum to be calculated alphabetically. We want the runningSum based on ranking. The number 1 country within a given region should be the first number that displays. The number 2 should be the addition of the most populated country and the second most populated country, and so forth, hence the runningSum. Let's click on Save. I'll scroll down my data pane and locate the pop rank and the pop run per region. I want those to display on the pivot table, so I'll select the pivot table and click each. And you'll notice that that will place the pop rank and the pop run per region on the values well. Within the pivot table, let's expand Asia. And notice that India is ranked as number 1, China's number 2, and Indonesia is number 4. This is because the geo-level control is currently set to the world level, and Indonesia is the 4th most populated country in the world. If I change this value to region, you'll see that the number associated with Indonesia is 3rd. Now let's consider the pop run per region. Notice the population that is associated with India, the 1.438 billion. For the pop run per region, we will see the same number. However, for China, where the population is 1.422 billion, we notice that the number is the addition of India and China, hence the running total. This is useful for Pareto type analysis. Consider this in conjunction with the key distinction that we discussed earlier. The LACW returns a different value for each row based on its order or position within the partition. And for our LACW functions, rank and running sum, we saw that in action.